All right, here we are. This is round 5 of Pro Tour Cons of Talk here. I'm Rashad Miller. I'm joined by Randy Bueller. We got a sweet deck that we're going to be watching. We're going to be
We
watching,
do.
Yeah, we're going to be watching Peter Steiner. He is from Denmark, and he is playing a sweet, sweet Jeskai deck.
I thought we'd already seen all the Jeskai decks.
No, this is another sweet one.
All right,
this
Sean
is the
McLaren,
sweetest. And there's
also
Sha-
with a sweet Jeskai
Yeah.
deck.
Pro Tour champion Sean McLaren, not as sweet of a Jeskai deck, but he's
All
still
right.
he's sticking to his guns.
Listen to what Peter Stein is up to. Peter Stein is playing Jeskai tokens.
Okay.
So he's got Goblin Rabble Master, he's got Hordling Outburst,
right.
he's got Raise the Alarm, he's got Triplicate Spirits in his deck as a
What?
4 of. And the thing you do with all these token creatures is you give them all +1/+1 with Jeskai's Ascendancy.
So you use token makers to give your tokens +1/+1.
The next token maker gives all the previous tokens +1/+1. He's also got Dictative Heliod and Spear of Heliod in
So
his deck.
the synergy level was off the charts with his deck.
Yeah, pretty cool. Very cool deck. I mean, I'm very curious to see how good it is. He's obviously done well so far, 4-0, so he won last round
All right.
and won his draft.
Yeah, he probably drafted Jeskai too.
But so this is kind of the fair way to play Jeskai's Ascendancy.
Also, it's fair ascendancy. Jeskai's fair ascendancy.
Eh.
Yeah,
I'll stick with Jeskai tokens, I think.
we'll work on that. I'll work on that name.
All right.
So we go. A lot of non-action so
Take
far.
one.
3 mana. And is this going to be an ascendancy? No, it's going to be.
19?
It's going to get 3 1/1 tokens.
6th Pro Tour for Peter Steiner, by the way. 25 pro points, a little bit of money won. He's
So,
getting a little more success on the Grand Prix
yeah.
circuit, and that's a Pro Tour.
So those are going to be goblins. We'll get some good goblins for you.
Okay. Go. 19? Yeah.
Hordling Outburst.
Yes, Hordling.
Were you expecting that card to show up?
I knew it had some potential. You know,
Yeah.
3 power for 3 mana.
Yeah.
That's
In
good.
red
And-
as 3 different tokens?
Yeah, and in Constructed, splitting your power up amongst different creatures
Right.
is actually better
Definitely.
than it being all chunked up into one big creature. Get a look at Sean McLaren's hand. A couple
Yeah.
of lightning strikes, Magma Jet, and 2 Jeskai charms. So
Jet.
he's got quite the hot hand over here. Where's the fan when you need him?
Yeah, no, his it's basically the Jeskai aggro deck we've been talking about. He's got a couple fewer creatures than, he only has 1 Seeker of the Way, so not quite as much on the creature side, a little more on the burn and control side. He actually main decks Anger of the Gods.
Right.
So, that's his take on this. Slightly more controllers than what we saw Ben Stark with last round.
Sean
But
just
same
used
basic
a,
idea.
Sean just used a Magma Jet to take out 1/3 of a Hordling
Oh, my
outburst.
goodness. Wow. Okay, Hordling Outburst going up and up. I mean, I'm sure Sean valued the scry and didn't have anything else to do with his
Good.
mana, but yeah, still. If people are going to show up with 1-for-1 removal spells, making a bunch of tokens is pretty good. Although, yeah, there you see that Anger of the Gods we were talking about in Sean's main deck.
It looks
Pretty good here.
Yeah, Sean wants to get a little more value out of that Anger of the Gods. Waiting
17?
for maybe one more spell to get cast to put some more tokens into play.
Oh, yeah, he's got to do better than 2 tokens.
I'll
Alright.
take
When
2
you,
damage.
you see somebody
17.
play Hordling Outburst, there's more coming.
Ascendancy.
So there is 3 mana, and that is Jeskai's
Go.
Ascendancy.
Wow.
I think we're going to be seeing a lot of this card over this weekend.
Seems
but
like it. Yeah, it looks like it. Jeskai Ascendancy. Clearly
Okay.
doing multiple things.
Full cards, yeah.
You can use the untap part to try to play a combo deck that goes off, like
With
Luis
mana
Scott
creatures?
Vargas did with mana creatures, like
Right.
Luis Scott Vargas did successfully
for
in the
4.
feature match area, but off
Yep.
camera last round.
13?
Or you can just play a bunch of creatures and use the +1/+1 ability to kill your opponent.
Yeah, and a Jeskai Charm just deals 4 damage to Peter Steiner.
Wow. Sean just heading to the face now.
More. Looks like another Charm's come in.
Sure.
Oh no, this is a Mantis
Ten.
Rider. The third Jeskai Charm.
Good.
Jeskai Charms number
Draw.
5, 6, 7, and 8. Doesn't do quite as much damage the first time, but it adds up.
It does.
Attack.
Stein is going to attack into it.
Before,
Can he really trigger
blocks?
prowess twice?
Well, looks like
What's he
he's
up to?
going to at
Oh,
least trigger
before
it
blocks.
once.
Lightning strike.
Okay.
Trigger. Sure. So I draw first. Yep.
So Peter's going to, before blocks, use Lightning Strike to not only kill the Mantis
untap?
Rider, untap the
And,
goblins,
you take
and
4?
give them +1/+1 thanks to the Jeskai Ascendancy.
Yep.
So using that
right.
Ascendancy to its fullest in this turn.
Yeah, trigger. Did he loot twice? I only saw him loot once.
Go.
No, he only loots once because he only casts one spell.
Oh, the one triggers the untap, one triggers the loot, of course.
Right.
I just heard trigger and got myself confused.
A lot of thinking for Sean. He's just going to pass the
Continues to
turn.
slow roll his anger.
Well, he's got a lot of instants in his hand too. So if things go extremely awry in one turn, there's a couple of lightning strikes that can come down and
Holding
settle the
outpost.
score.
There
Trigger,
it is.
trigger.
I guess the one
I draw.
disadvantage of the Jeskai Ascendancy, it gets you to play all these token makers on your turn. You
This
kind of
one.
want to commit stuff to the
They
board
untap.
even before combat
And I get
Right.
3 tokens.
to get the Jeskai Ascendancy triggers.
Sure.
Yep, and there's 3 more tokens. 2 of those goblins are 2/2s.
So they get plus and attack for 4.
That is an attack for 4.
Yeah, Sean just takes this,
Sure.
and then he's now
Go
it's
to
time
9?
to anger.
Yep.
Yeah, you definitely really got this. Even though it's only
Go.
clearing out 1 2/3 of a card,
It's 5 guys.
but it is 5
Just
guys.
charm you 4.
Yeah, suddenly I'm
6.
getting hungry.
Jeskai Charm brings Peter Stena down to 6.
Strike.
Oh, we don't even have to worry about those goblins.
Wow.
We have enough face burn to bring Peter from 10 to 0 over the course of those 2 turns.
Wow.
So is that tempo? Did we just get tempoed out, or just, did we get
You
just
got
guy
aggroed
burned?
out. Come on,
All
that
right.
was an aggro draw.
We got burned out. How about that? So McLaren leads 1-0 over Steiner, and we will bring you more Magic action right after this.
Ultra Pro is the place to go for all your Magic accessories. With card sleeves, deck boxes, playmats, and portfolios showing off the best Magic art, Ultra Pro is the standard in safe storage. Visit ultrapro.com for more information. You've watched the Pro Tour. How about playing on the Pro Tour? Qualifiers for Pro Tour Fate Reforged are going on now around the world, with winners earning an invitation and airfare to Washington, D.C. in February. Visit wizards.com/PTQ for more information.
All right, welcome back to round 5. This is standard. We're going to have a live look in. All right, so we are going to get you some more Magic. We are looking at Owen Turnwall versus Park Jun Young. This is the King of the Hill table.
Yeah,
so
Owen
a
would
lot-
like to take his turn as King of the Hill.
Yeah, a lot's on the line here.
The 5-0 record, the comfy seat in the feature match area,
We really should get a more comfortable chair just for the King of the Hill.
something throne-like.
Just plush.
Sure,
I'm fine with thrones aren't very comfortable.
that's fair.
They make a good presence, but I wouldn't want to sit in it all day.
Yeah, we saw Park Jun-young last round. He's on the Mardu deck, right? He's got Butchers, Ash Cloud Phoenixes, Rabble Masters. He's got a couple Sorens and a couple Sarkons, so all kinds of toys from Khans of Tarkir, including the Crackling Dooms, which he used to just finish off his opponent last round. Owen, meanwhile, is on the blue blacklist, the sort of the latest Andrew Cuneo control deck that about half of the Pantheon is running.
It was face down on the floor. I don't believe that it
Face
was
down,
seen.
yeah, I didn't see
but
it.
but
Oh, okay,
what I
yeah,
want to
sure,
do is I
sure.
want to shuffle the cards anyways,
Yeah,
just
but
in case it
anyway,
was seen.
I used it.
Oh, you're going to be
Yeah,
using
yeah,
this
yeah,
right
yeah.
now anyways.
Here's a question. Is it Ash Cloud Phoenix? That card was just put on top of his deck last turn.
I drew it.
He's drawn his card.
Okay,
turn
that's
already.
fine.
Yeah.
Just checking.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and crack the bloodstained.
Down to 15.
So, yeah, there was a little bit of confusion. There was a card.
Yeah, card fell off to the floor.
But this is the board position that the blue-black control deck wants to see. A lot of nothing.
Yeah.
A lot of nothing in play, except for land. The blue deck wants to see a lot of land on their side. Doesn't really care how much land's on the other side.
Yeah. You see those all the cards that have been exiled here. The Perilous Vault.
Yeah, Perilous
Clearly
Vault
been activated to sweep this board at some point.
is the new Wrath of God. Can you hear the air quotes that I'm making?
Yeah, that's pretty much.
You gotta do what
It's
you
more
gotta
than
do,
Nevin
I
Earl's
guess.
disc. Come on. It's clearly a
It's-
Nevin Earl's disc.
Is it?
It's a disc.
Okay, sure.
You don't need white mana when there's good discs floating around.
Go.
Yeah, we saw the blue-black went 0-2 in the feature match area last round, but Owen won his round, and now here he is looking to. It sure looks like he's got control of this game.
Yeah, maybe the key is you need to draw 3 Perilous Vaults.
That's it.
Sure that doesn't hurt. Update on the back table, by the way, newly inducted Hall of Famer Makihito Mahara is up a game on Timothy Simino, and Mahara wearing the ring, gotta love it. It's hard to shuffle. That thing is gigantic.
It,
It is not easy to shuffle a deck of Magic cards when you're actually wearing that ring. But
I'll take your word for it. I'm
high
sure
class
you've
problem
tried.
to have, right? Mahara's deck is super interesting to me. We're calling it Unwritten Devotion. He's playing essentially a green devotion list, but with See the Unwritten, so that he can go just search and put creatures into play. You've got Ferocious turned on to get 2 creatures into play. That's the nice tech, and it's also got the Black Splash for the Constellation. Doomwake Giant is insane in the format, especially against all the token decks that are running around. So that's a nice list. The coolest thing to me about that, actually, is the fact that Mahara showed up with that, and the other half of Pantheon showed up with that. It's like if Reed Duke and Makihito Mahara independently come to the same conclusion about what you're supposed to play,
It's got to be the deck.
it's got to be good. It's
gotta
at
be
least
good.
got to be good because both of those guys came to the same deck. Half of Pantheon followed Reed down that path.
Yeah, I
so,
respect
Unwritten
Mahara's
Devotion.
I respect Mahara's constructed selection a lot.
Oh, absolutely.
Like if he picks a deck, it's a good deck.
100% agree.
All right, so a Thoughtseize comes down, and it looks like it took. All right, so we will
Yeah.
come back.
Owen
to
looks like
this
he's in good
match.
shape there.
Owen's definitely in good shape. He's ready to answer any threats that come down. So let's go back to our main match, which is Peter Steiner versus Sean McLaren.
Yeah, we were having so much fun watching Peter Steiner play token makers and trigger Jeskai Ascendancy and
someone had
give
to
them all
be-
+1/+1. And
Someone had to be a poopy head and just burn Peter Steiner out from 10 to 0.
pretty much from 20.
Well, yeah. I
He
mean,
never played a creature. Did Sean play a single creature that game?
No, but Sean did deal about 4 damage to himself with his
Oh, yeah.
non-basics.
Fair enough. All
Right,
right,
so
there's
those
Sean
players-
McLaren's resume. Starting to add up. Burst onto the scene last year with the Pro Tour win. And still his only Pro Tour top 8, but he started having success on the Grand Prix circuit. He's up to 70 pro points. He's platinum. He'll be at Worlds. And a lone wolf, too. I mean, you see the number 8 ranking, which is super impressive. But, you know, we talk about all these teams and super teams and Pantheon this and face-to-face that.
Is he still a free agent?
He is by choice a free agent. He is a
Wow.
lone wolf. He prepared for this tournament with his brother and his Magic Online client, to be fair. But yeah, he is absolutely still a lone wolf, even though I'm sure lots of teams would love to have him.
Yeah,
That's not how he got good. That's not how he had his initial success. He's gonna keep doing what works.
There definitely needs to be a few lone wolves out there.
I
Proving
agree.
at least that it's
21?
still possible.
Yep.
I agree.
Sure.
I mean, Mahara is essentially a lone wolf too, right?
Yeah, but I don't think anyone can really appreciate what he could bring to a team.
Right, but that's great. You
Yeah.
gotta have guys like that. I love it.
All right, so not a lot of
tokens?
action again. Here's the first real spell, another Hordeling Outburst. The 3 tokens were at the ready. They go alongside a Nyx Fleece Ram, which I guess it's just going to counteract how many every time he taps that.
Nyx Fleet's
Battlefield
Ram's
Forge.
job is just you're playing a burn deck. You're not that fast. I'm gonna gain, card advantage. Nyx Fleece Ram seems like it's in this weirdo spot where it's
Gain 1 life.
kind of a card advantage card against the burn decks.
Yeah, one life a turn just happens to be
Worth 2 mana.
2 mana and a card.
The miracle of compound interest. Not really compound interest, but the miracle of simple interest.
Incremental interest,
Simple interest.
simple interest. All right, so in comes the team. 3 goblins attacking, and is Sean going to use the Macbeth to get rid of one of the tokens again? It's not outside of his range. He definitely did a game 1. Mostly, I'm sure, for the scry
Right.
value.
Yeah. 17.
But he takes 3 this time, so he's going to go down to 17.
Again, he's got an anger that he can potentially sweep the board with. Or he could just get Steiner to slow play in Fear of Anger until he burns him down from 20.
It's true, but the longer
Much harder against the Ram.
mean,
I'm not sure that
turn,
this game's
damage at you.
not going to work out that way.
the longer Sean waits, the more life Peter's going to get from
Right.
that Nyx Fleece Ram.
Sean's starting, though. Magma Jet went to the head there.
Now he's thinking about his scry. 1 on the top, 1 on the bottom. Gonna take his turn. Looks like he kept an Anger of the Gods, so that's going to give him 2 Anger of the Gods. So the first one's got to be
Anger.
going off right now. If
Yeah.
he kept the second one.
Agreed.
Sure.
That's a great card in this matchup, anyway.
Good.
Definitely
Gain
one you
1
want
life.
to keep.
21.
Peter goes up to 21, so now he is, he's got an extra life to play around if he needs to tap that Battlefield Scourge for a red. Battlefield Forge, pardon me. That really had a lot to do with why he lost that game one. He dealt 4 damage to himself with those land.
It's true. Yeah, he's got 1 mana
Red cards,
confluence in his deck.
6.
Couple Pain lands, 4 Battlefield Forge, 3 Shivan
Good.
Reef. You basically have to choose in
left.
this format whether you want your lands to be
22.
slow or painful.
Draw.
Right.
His are kind of both. He's also got 4 temples. Temple of Triumph.
Yeah.
3 Mystic
obviously
Monasteries.
The scry helps a lot, and the scry
Go.
pushes it over the
Right.
edge for.
Basically, he's only got 4 basics. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like, couldn't decide between slow and painful. He's just like, I'll have both in my deck.
So Sean picked up a Dissolve, so that's an interesting addition. I think that's out of the sideboard for
Rebel
him.
Master. Okay.
Plays a Rebel
Yes,
Master
sir.
this turn.
Yeah, before.
And Peter says, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Lightning
Before
strike.
combat, we're going to strike that guy.
Yeah,
No
by the
Goblin
way,
token
if
for you.
those of you who play Magic Online, time to add a new stop. You have to add your opponent's first main phase. You need to add a stop on your opponent's first main phase so that you can kill their Rabble Master before it triggers and makes a Goblin token.
I don't even have that stop, and I have quite a few
I do now.
stops on Magic
I've
Online.
never had that stop before, and I've been playing Magic Online for a decade plus. No, Goblin Rabble Master means you got to turn that new stop on.
Yeah. And the weird thing about
We'll take
doing
one.
things during your
21.
opponent's main phase,
Yep.
as a Jeskai Ascendancy comes down, is that after that Rebel Master dies, your opponent, or the controller of the Rebel Master, is back in his or her main phase.
true.
So that they can cast more
Yeah,
spells.
they
or
can
a
play another
land.
one. They can play a haste creature.
Yeah.
Sean's sideboard in this deck is super sweet. Sean's deck is basically transforming. He's got the Jeskai aggro main deck, and his sideboard is all control cards. Like he's basically sideboarding into the standard version of the deck he won the Modern Pro Tour with last year.
20.
He's just all counter spells and burn spells and card advantage. It's pretty cool, actually. Kiranos. We heard about Kiranos winning him the match last round. Pretty cool.
Right, so it looks like Peter has another Nyx Fleece Ram in his hand.
Yeah, dig through times for card advantage. Dig through times work in both. I mean, the removal suite and the card advantage suite work with both versions of that Jeskai deck. It's pretty cool, actually.
All right, so a couple of triplicate spirits for Peter.
I can't actually cast them here.
Can't cast them yet. Got a couple of Stoke the Flames.
Needed to draft more Raise the Alarms.
He's got some.
He does.
He's got some. I think he has as many as he's everyone he saw, he put in his deck. Guarantee. I guarantee you. 4 mana, is this going to be a Stoke the Flames?
It is 4 main deck Raise the Alarm, to be fair.
Stokes, trigger.
Just hasn't drawn them.
Right. So Stoke the Flames is going to target the Goblin Rabble Master. Jeskai Ascendancy triggers, draws a card. Looks like he's going to discard a Lightning Strike. Just thinking about it. Actually, that Ram isn't looking too good with the Goblin Rabble. Well, the Goblin Rabble Master is not going to be in play anymore. So the Ram looks better now. But
Devouring Light might be there.
oh,
Go.
Spear of Heliod hits the bin.
16.
Huh.
Yep.
That's a good one with a token strategy.
Right. And 3 different Jeskai decks showing up to play so far in the feature match area. 3 totally different archetypes. I mean, everybody's got their own take on the Jeskai aggro list. McLaren's got the transformational sideboard. You can have it burn-based. Maybe there's something that's worth calling tempo floating around out there.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it seems like the fact that blue is actually stronger than people may have realized or have
Is
thought.
it blue or is it just dig through time?
Maybe it's just Dick.
I mean, I mean, there are other blue cards that you can play, but it's dig through time that's been doing all the work I've seen so far.
yeah, and dig through time in combination with all of these 1-for-1 burn spells that you're using,
Right.
To to bring it down from the 8 that it looks like it costs, to the 3 or 4 that you're actually spending.
Sure.
Turns out it's a pretty good inspiration when you spend 4 mana and get to tutor through 7 cards to draw 2.
Inspiration.
Yeah. 19.
It's ancestral memories.
Good.
Yeah, but that's
Go.
an instinct. All right, so attack is going to bring Peter down to 19. Still not a lot going on the board. Sean's got a couple of dig through times in his hand, so he's ready to reload or to at least increase the quality of the things he has in his hand. Where Peter is stuck playing a Nyx Fleece Ram, which isn't
Right.
going to get him much as far as winning this game. Does block the token.
Go.
Gains him some life, gives him a little bit of breathing room. Although, can't imagine he's going to get burned down from 19 this game.
Yeah, but I mean, I think the fact that he got burned down last
Well,
game
yeah.
got him to bring
Okay.
in these Nyx Fleece Rams, and well, Sean actually going to
Fine.
counter it.
Yeah, a little slow roll on
Yeah.
that dissolve.
good.
Never said okay, never acknowledged.
Nope.
Yeah.
All right.
Hitting.
I feel like Sean has sideboarded into a more controlless version of the deck than maybe Peter was expecting, which is kind of nice. I mean, when your sideboard gives you that ability.
Right. Peter's stuck with a bunch of cards he can't cast.
Yep. Owen, by the way, did win that first game
Go.
against Park Chun Young on the King of the Hill table.
Oh.
Your
So
turn.
score 1 for blue-black control.
Dig.
Took a while, but Pearl Lake Ancient
Sure.
got there.
Results.
As it always does. So another dig through time for Sean. He's looking at some good cards. Got Malcolm Jet, Anger of the Gods, Jeskai Charm. Another dig through time. Just chain them together. There's a negate in there. What to do? What to do? Mantis Rider, couple land. That's probably not too important right now.
Ah. Brad Nelson and Seth Manfield going to game 3. Seth managed to even it up there. Seth's on a Abzan mid-range, and Brad Nelson on a white-red tokens. So 2 different sort of white-red tokens decks here. Peter's gone all the way to Jeskai. I think Brad just has essentially the white-red version of this.
All right, so a couple of cards picked up for Sean. Didn't quite see what they were. But we're going to attack with a token. Looks like he did rebot. It looks like he
I
got
take it.
the
17.
negate and a dig through time.
Go
We'll
ahead.
get our hand updated. And Sean is content
Love that.
on attack for 1 with this token and protecting
Race. So you
that,
got
that board state. And here is a Raise the Alarm from Peter Steiner.
sure.
Raise the Alarm's
Draw.
on the stack, the trigger's on the stack, so Peter's going to draw a card and discard 1. Doesn't have any creatures to get a bonus.
Well,
But-
looks like we're going to have to wait to see that Unwritten Devotion deck on camera, by the way. Mahara won too fast. Makihito Mahara 2-0 over Timothy Simino. So the Hall of Famer got it done with animated lands thanks to Nissa, and moves his record to 4-1 on the weekend so far.
Congratulations to him.
Yeah.
All right, so after a little bit of thought,
Yeah, Mahara's actually been playing Green Devotion ever since Pro Tour Theros.
yeah, so Negate's going to take out that Razor Alarm to keep the board clear. This Goblin's going to go to distance. little Goblin go going on here? No, I will not let you block
Goblin
my
go?
I will not let you block my Goblin with your
He
soldiers.
is playing Goblin Go,
Trigger.
isn't he?
Trigger.
Instead of Rabble Red, it's Goblin Go.
Sure.
So
All right, so now Hortling Outburst is on the stack.
2 different Hordling Outburst decks in the round this round. Brad Nelson's also a Hordling Outburst deck.
All right, so Jeskai
It's
Ascendancy
pretty-
trigger resolves, and it looks like the Hortling Outburst
Um,
resolves this time.
Thinking.
Oh, not yet.
Sure.
Still thinking. So those
well,
tokens
it
aren't in play
results,
yet.
So I have the priority, right?
Well, you loot first, as right?
But it sort of put them into play.
Yeah, we've already passed the Jeskai
just said
Ascendancy
okay.
trigger if the tokens are in play.
I don't think he was indicating that the spell resolved. He's indicating that your trigger was resolving. So
Okay.
he's still
Yeah.
responding
Yeah,
to
it's
the...
Yeah, so
That's
right now
fair.
the Hortling Outburst is
It's fine.
still on the stack.
Peter
Uh,
has, in fact, chosen not to loot if he
The
puts
looting
tokens
happened.
into play.
The looting happened.
Looting happened, okay.
The looting happened.
But I do need you to make
So,
a decision.
so the options are dissolve
Yeah.
or let it resolve.
Yeah.
And it's going to resolve, but there's Anger of Gods
Go.
in Sean's
Turn.
hand.
Dig.
Another
More
dig through time.
digging through time.
You know what? Sean's been using this all of his mana every turn.
And then reloading.
and only has 1 Goblin in play. Not usually the way most games go, but sometimes you see the route to victory and you just go with it. Shaw takes his turn. It's probably going to say bye-bye to not only his goblin, but the 3 over on Peter's side.
Seems likely.
Or maybe he's not that threatened. But if he's going to cast Anger of the Gods, he needs to do that before he plays his Mantis Rider.
Sure.
Or maybe he doesn't.
Anger.
Okay, there we go. He
Okay.
does. Anger of the Gods. Going to wipe the board clean unless Peter has a response.
Can't play. You need 3 tricks? That's not
He
happening.
would need 3 tricks or 1 trick that also pumps his
them.
guys by 2.
Good.
So Sean's
Sean,
still playing
yeah.
it slow.
Well, he's got Dissolve up. There's no reason to tap out for Mantis Rider when he can leave up Dissolve.
And this is going to be a
triplicate
triplicate
trigger?
spirits.
Yeah, Dissolve that. in a heartbeat.
Sure.
Probably going to let the trigger resolve first.
Yeah. No reason to give Peter the information about the upcoming Dissolve until after Peter's finished making his loot decision. God, I think Sean's going to point one of those 2 Dissolves. That's triplicate spirits, though.
I'm sure
Yeah,
that
Dissolve, you
Dissolve's
get to
gonna-
untap, play a Mantis
How many
Rider,
cups?
still leaving up more Dissolve mana.
5. I'll just crack this and speed things up.
Oh, Sean being very considerate, time considerate,
Yeah.
decides to sacrifice his Flutter Strand to go get the planes while
Peter's still thinking about his discard.
and it looks like
So
he
you're at 15?
discarded something off the screen.
15, 17.
But it must not have been very good, so.
I get
Devouring
3
Light.
tokens.
Dissolve it.
All right.
Sure.
So Peter, once again, trying to rush those tokens into play, and Sean's like, wait a second. I didn't let that resolve.
I know. Sean
And-
leaves on top
Oh.
with the Scry, too.
Yep. Dissolve, leave it on top. Draws the card he likes, which is a Magma Jet. It looks like Mantis Rider is going to come down and play.
Sure. 14.
Attack for 3. Peter's going
How
to go
many
down to
cards?
14. 4 cards in hand for Sean
Right.
Glarn.
Draw.
And Peter's still without an offense. He's got a negate and
Trigger.
oh, we got a Whirling Outburst.
Now, Sean's down to 1 Dissolve, right?
So I get like
He's down to 1 Dissolve. He has a Magma
No,
Jet.
he's going to use it.
He's going to use the Dissolve. That's interesting. I mean,
Yeah,
how-
it's his last
I take
one.
one,
That
13.
one's slightly surprising to me.
and
Okay,
Negate's going to fight back. How threatening are
Sure.
3/1/1s? With
think
a
it's three
Jeskai
tokens.
It's the
in play.
Ascendancy that makes them threatening. I mean, Sean doesn't want to have to start caring about how many instants Peter can play in the middle of a combat. I mean, if he gets Peter's down, I think, to 2 cards in hand, so it's not a
Yeah.
catastrophe.
He's down to 2 cards. He's also down to 13 life, which, there's a lot of 4
Right,
damage
Mantis Rider's
spells.
going to be hitting. I mean, Sean wants to be able to block with his Mantis Rider, but the Ascendancy makes that super scary.
Exactly. Right now, Sean can still
I'll
use.
stoke this one.
Ooh.
Oh, Stoke's going to come
Trigger.
down.
Hordling Outburst also, yeah. Hordling Outburst
Yep.
makes Stoke the Flames almost free.
Well, and Jeskai Ascendancy makes it basically free.
Yeah.
Pretty
11.
impressive. That's some nice synergy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the tokens not only cast the Stoke, but yeah, like you say, they untap from the Ascendancy. McLaren says Jet U.
And gets to scry 2 land to the bottom.
Now
It's-
he's got a Lightning Strike. He's got a Dig Through Time.
And he has another Magma Jet.
Dig.
Wow, he's going to go see how much burn he can find. He wants to know whether he has to care about those creatures or whether he can just deal 11.
He might be able to deal 11.
With Dig, he's looking at 7. He's got,
Yeah.
what, 5 points in his hand?
4, 4, and 3 is 11. There's a Lightning Strike. All he needs is 2, like a Stoke and a Jeskai Charm. That's 11. There's a Mantis Rider. There's a Lightning
Well, he's
Strike.
got 5 in it. He just needs 6, right? He needs 2 cards that add up to 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a Stoke and a Lightning Strike. He took Stoke, and I didn't actually see the second card that he took, but I think Sean can just burn him out from here, can't he?
He took a Mantis Rider. Mantis Rider definitely
yeah, that's
gives
a good
him.
one.
Yep.
Deals 3 right now.
And 3 later.
Deals 3 more later if he needs it to. Blocks. Pretty nice.
All right, but Peter has 3 creatures
Hmm.
in play and a Jeskai Ascendancy. That can add up to 15. There's a bunch of ways that can add up to 15.
Attack.
So he's attacking for 3.
Yeah, you totally block here. And Sean does.
So here comes spell 1 of possibly multiple.
Take 1.
So 3 mana. He's going
7.
to take 1 damage from his land. He's going to go down to 7.
+1, +1. Lifelink.
And this
Trigger,
is
trigger.
whoa.
Lifelink.
Jeskai Charm's going to make those
Lifelink.
2 2s with the ascendancy, making them 3 3s with lifelink.
Oops. That wasn't part of the plan.
That threw the math off.
Dramatically.
So a lightning strike's going to have to step in the way of one of them, or I guess Magmajet can do the same.
Yeah.
Sure.
Jet 1, the Mantis Rider is going to die here because it's +1/+1
That's
from the Jeskai Charm and +1/+1 from the Ascendancy.
that's interesting. Why not save your Mantis Rider
So
instead
draw
of
card.
taking less damage?
Because, I mean, at 15,
discard.
yeah, it's a fair point. Oh, yeah, I might have kept my Mantis Rider around.
And they get plus.
Yep.
So we trade.
Yep.
I gain 6 life, go to 13, and
Yep.
you go to 12.
13, 12.
Yeah, I think Sean
Go.
felt 9 was a little scary, but the Mantis Rider can do some real work.
All right, so off the top, was that a Sorin?
Sorin or Sarkhan?
Yeah, Sarkin.
I believe it was.
There you see Jeskai Charm. It's got a lot of modes, 3.
Sure.
We've seen them all be used today
Yep.
in
I go
standard
to 9.
Yeah. Here's Sarkhan.
in 2 rounds.
Sarkhan.
Yep.
Sorry.
Sarkhan. It's going to attack for 4.
Good one.
Attack.
All right, so Peter can
Yep.
only try to race. He doesn't have a lot of other options to do. That
11.
one's not doing a lot of,
Go.
not doing a good job against Sarkhan.
Ooh, island off the top. That's not going to get
Islands.
it done.
Not going to get it done. And then I think there's enough burn.
Yeah, take.
Yeah,
Um,
no,
for
2 hits
Sean.
from the Sarkhan that came off the top kind of undid the lifelink.
And now it's just, are you in fear of any type of counter magic? And he's going to throw these fireballs at
Wow.
Peter's face, and that's it. Peter Steiner goes down. Sean McLaren moves to 5-0 by winning 2-0.
Maybe we should have called the Jeskai Burn.
It's definitely a burn deck.
It has a burn element. It's not just a burn deck. I don't actually like the name Jeskai Burn, but you can see why some people might
Well,
lean that way. That's
the-
sometimes that's how the deck plays. And I mean, really, the Sean McLaren, the way he has the deck built, I feel like he's got a 75 card deck.
You know,
And then based on the matchup, he can just pick which side of the deck he actually wants
Mantis
to play up.
Rider is just a goblin guide. That's all it is. So this is a burn deck. But enough. That match is over.
Yes.
We got a King of the Hill match to go over and watch. We got Owen
Yes.
Turnwall is playing against Park Jun Young. I believe they're in game 2.
Still game 2, right? Owen's up a game.
Yep, Owen is up a game, and they are in game 2. They've been having some long games over there
Shocking with the blue-black control deck.
versus the Mardu Planeswalker deck.
It's not the Planeswalkers. Is it the Planeswalkers or is it?
Oh, is it it's mid-range?
It's Mardu mid-range, yeah. It's Butcher and Rabble Master. But, yeah,
There's
the blue-black deck
it
is
probably has the
always
same
gonna be
amount of
slow.
Planeswalkers as the other one. We saw Chandra. We saw Sarkhan. We saw.
Doesn't play. I don't think it plays Elspeth.
We
I don't
may
think it
not
has
have
as
seen
many.
Elspeth, but we definitely saw.
It's 2 Sorin, 2 Sarkhan.
Yeah, 2 Sorin, 2 Sarkhan.
I think that the Mardu mid-range decks are going to have 4-ish Planeswalkers.
Go.
The Mardu Walker deck we were talking about that Raph Levy played has significantly more than that.
Whoa, and look at the speed of play here. As a Butcher the Horde is going to get exiled by a Perilous Vault. And that was really all that Park Jun Young had going on. So now,
Perilous Vault seems like it's a real card now. It didn't make much of an impact on Standard when M15 came out, but
you do what you have to do. Sometimes you have to spend 4 just to spend 5 next turn to get rid of the.
I mean, if everybody is going to be excellent, if everybody's going to be playing 3 drops and 4 drops and 5 drops, then you have time, right? You can't exile a bunch of Jackal Pups, but you can exile these guys.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Are we emptying the
6, 7, 8,
pits?
9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. 24. So 20, 10.
Do we have 10?
Do we
black
have
zombies?
10 zombie tokens?
I don't know. Do we
what
have?
just happened?
And we may never know.
Empty the pits.
The pits are empty.
Wow.
Out comes 10 zombies.
Instant speed during your end step.
Make 20 power.
Unbelievable.
Make 20 power worth of creatures. You only need a 6 power, but you know, you do what you gotta. You just you just flex.
Awesome.
Every now
Yes,
and then.
that was a flex move.
To show-
That was the shirt getting ripped off, the muscles being flexed. 24 power worth of zombies coming into play.
All right, so they are tied
Good
at one
stuff.
apiece. We're gonna definitely show you their third game, but right now we may get a chance to take a quick live look in on our back table, which is Brad Nelson versus Seth Manfield.
Yeah, more Hordling outbursts.
Yep, we got Horland Outburst, we got Elspeth, we got Chandra. Ooh, a suspension field took out a Siege Rhino.
Sure. Yeah, this is Abzan mid-range versus red-white tokens.
And there we have it, our first Sylvan Caryatid sighting.
Wow, that's the first one. Where are all the coursers? Where are all the Sylvan Caryatids? Isn't that what this was supposed to be?
You know what? That's
One,
what I'd
two,
want it to be.
we're talking
I'm
one,
a
two
fan of
Elspeth.
Sylvan Caryatid and Corsair Crew Fix. That's how I like to play Magic.
Fair.
But maybe there's a lot of people out there that don't.
I mean, we certainly have had them in the Future Magic
Right,
area. Like,
yes.
Louise was pretty happy with his
This goes at
Caryatids.
Elspeth, all 6 of these.
No coursers for Louise,
Going
just the
into you.
Caryatids. I was thinking Courser would be the most played card in the top 8, but Caryatid certainly seems like it's got the edge, being in the Ascendancy combo.
Yeah, things have just gotten bigger and maybe even better than Corsair.
Is that true?
2-4 was that was a big butt. Used to be a big butt.
Yeah.
People have just
There's all these tokens running around. You get to
but you
use.
just go wide.
Take 5.
That does seem to be what people are doing.
Corsair's good when they can't go wide enough. That
Brad's
it-
got 3 Planeswalkers in play, too.
yeah.
Your turn.
It's like,
We
that's a
ran
lot
the
of
line.
loyalty.
Yeah, we ran the line.
It's
up
like
as soon
20
as-
loyalty worth of Planeswalkers in play. That'll
I-
get the job done.
And I think that's a victory condition when you have 5 dice on on 3 or more planeswalkers.
20 loyalty amongst all your Planeswalkers,
Yeah,
you win the game.
Yeah, you win the game. And it looks like that's the match also. So Brad Nelson is going to move on to 4-1, taking on Seth Manfield. So we're going to go back to our King of the Hill match, which is on Turtle Wall on the blue-black control list that Andrew Cuneo had a lot to do with.
Yeah.
Playing against Park Jun Young, who's playing a Mardu mid-range deck. A lot of the Mardu hits that you'd love to open in your draft. Butcher the Horde.
Yeah, he basically has every card
Sorin.
you're hoping to open when you draft Mardu.
It's got a few charms in there. Making a lot of use of what red, black, and white have to offer.
Park Jun-young won a PTQ to get here. It's his 9th Pro Tour.
Yeah,
Hasn't had any super great finishes so far, but 4 GP top 8s,
right.
including the win in Minneapolis.
Yep, he is a GP champion. And if you didn't see the end of their game 2, let's just say that there was a pit. It was mostly full. Actually, it was full.
It
to the
started
brim.
full.
It started full, but then it ended very empty. And out came 2 zombies to play.
Yeah, I mean, not only...
They didn't get to play long, but they came out to play, and then the party was over.
Owen was scooping his cards up quite quickly, realizing he needs to have time to win game 3. There you get Owen's resume. Definitely starting to add up. 283 pro points. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Couple
Only
of Pro Tour
25?
top 8s.
I remember when he was 14.
Yeah, no, he's been around for a while.
He's been around a long time. Look at him.
16 Grand Prix top 8s is quite a nice number.
A lot of those in his Player of the Year.
Yeah, I think he had
yeah.
7, right? Which was the record until last year.
Yeah. He probably shed a lone tear.
It's all right. It was his teammate that beat him, right?
Yeah, it's fine. But then,
And it was Owen who gets to be the captain of Team USA.
right, so he beat his teammate.
Yeah, it was absolutely.
So it all works out.
Did not play Reed's deck, though. Basically, Pantheon had the Reed Duke list and the Andrew Cuneo list, and Owen went with Cuneo's control deck.
It actually says a lot. Owen isn't a big blue-based control player.
Not really.
He,
I mean, he'll
plays
play-
control.
He'll play whatever's good. I mean,
Yes.
he's definitely quite a good Magic player, capable of playing whatever happens to be the right tool for to get the job done in any given event.
All right, so it looks like we are playing Magic. Yeah, Thoughtseize is going to
Gotta
see
put this back up.
a Butcher of the Horde. It's going to see a couple of Sorens, and a Read the Bones goes to the graveyard. A couple of land also for Park Jun Young. And there's Empty in the Pits. Empty the Pits. So you can see how much mana it takes to make 10 2/2 zombies with that
4.
card. You're
Takes
right.
4 mana.
That's right. You know, you're right.
You can
The-
never pay more than 4 for that card. Come on.
It depends on how full the pit is when you start.
I'm just saying, you never play more than 4. Oh, did he actually pay 6 last game just to put the lie to my statement?
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
guess if he got the lands lying around.
Yeah, he paid
Think of the
6.
card as costing 4. Yeah, I mean, you can't play more than 1 or 2 of these in a deck, but I mean,
No.
having that angle to your deck where all of a sudden end step, you make a completely lethal army.
Yeah, I think the
Pretty powerful card.
The quadruple black has a lot to do with there not being a lot.
More than a couple.
Yeah, more than a couple in any deck.
Fair.
Second Thoughtseize. And Park picks up an utter end. So one of the Sorens is the bin. Still no white mana for Park, so those Sorens aren't going to, well, the one that's left in his hand is not going to be played anytime soon. And down comes Mana Confluence. So forget everything I just said.
Following up, by the way, Park Jin-young has 1 copy of Empty the Pits in his sideboard. For situations just like this
Yeah,
one.
whenever you play it one game and it's really good, that's, oh, I got to bring the other one in. So Dissolve hits a Butcher of the Horde. And then the follow-up is a Rabble Master.
Rabble Master sticks? No, Rabble
No.
Master went down to Murderous Cut?
Looks like a Murderous Cut.
Yeah.
There's Owen. There's Park. And there's Soren, Solemn Visitor. Well, there was a Soren.
Sorry. Put it back.
Soren gets Disdainful Stroke. So a lot of 1-for-1. Nothing's really staying on the board, and the Thoughtseize, one of the best 1-for-1s there are, but Owen's going to deny him the information by casting his Dissolve on the Thoughtseize. Also gets a Scribe, puts a card on the bottom, so a little bit of benefit there. And there is a Ash Cloud Phoenix. Very resilient threat, especially for a blue-black deck.
Yeah. Park down to an utter end.
What, this end? Oh, you're not going to fall for it?
I'm not.
Ah, I was really hoping to get you with that.
Sorry.
All right, so Ash Cloud Phoenix attacks for 4. As it does. There's an Urborg, which is going to help a lot for Park
Turning on his
Jun-young.
Empty the Pits.
Yeah. There might have been an Urborg in play in the other game. Because
Yeah, funny.
I didn't know that there was 4 black land in play. There could have been easily, but this could also have been the case. Oh, speak of the zombies.
Wow.
Thank you, Urborg, for facilitating this for me.
Wow. Owen's Urborg turns on Park Jin-young's Empty the Pits.
But it gets dissolved.
All right. Not this time.
Which I'm kind of sad about.
Yeah. Dissolve. Still good, for the record.
But there's still an Ash Cloud Phoenix beaten down
Yeah.
on Owen Turtenwall. And even if Owen does find a way to kill it, it's not dead. It's not dead forever. Comes back as a face-down morph.
If he can exile it, it goes away for good.
Yeah, if he can exile it, he does have Perilous Vault, which
All
does
right.
that.
I was looking, though.
that's-
He does not have Silence the Believers.
That seems like a good card that the blue-black decks would want to include, especially since
It's a
it
little
can.
on the expensive side, and we've seen it in some of the lists.
Yeah, it doubles as a board sweeper of sorts. You know, you get 2 creatures, and
Right.
that's probably enough. But
But, I mean, their card advantage is really dig through time.
right.
That's what they want to be doing.
So Owen's sitting at 6 life. That's only 2 more attacks from Ash Cloud Phoenix.
Yeah, I mean, he can kill it once with the Murderous Cut, but that's it. He doesn't have a second way to kill it.
Yeah, and there's a Goblin Rabble Master who's
He
gonna.
can't stroke that.
Yep, he's gonna just threatening to add 1 more power to this attack. That's
So
gonna put him down to 1.
Presumably, you have to Murderous Cut the Goblin Rabble Master? Yeah, before combat.
No, he's gonna go with the Ash Cloud Phoenix. So the
Ooh.
Phoenix is gonna return as a face
Wow.
down creature.
Owen is basically playing the top deck Perilous Vault, isn't he?
Perilous Vault is
No, sir.
9 mana. That wouldn't have been enough, and that's
Wow.
the game.
Park Jin-young holds on to the King of the Hill table.
Sure does. It's a comfy seat. No one wants to give it up. You give it up, and It's not as good, you know, sitting out there with the common folk.
That means the blue-black control goes to 0-3 in feature matches.
That's right.
I mean, Owen won the first game. We saw it. I mean, it's won games, but 0-3 in terms of feature matches. Obviously, super small sample size, but you know what? This is the stories we got. The data's coming in. We're trying to make sense of it.
Yeah. Why don't we give everyone a recap of what happened in the feature match area?
Right. So we just saw Owen Turtenwald attempt to take King of the Hill from Park Jun-young, but fail. Loses 1-2. Park Jun-young wins with man, that empty the pits in game 2 was awesome. And then the Ash Cloud Phoenix getting the job done in the third game.
And we did see Empty the Pits get resolved twice that match. Well, actually, it didn't resolve the second time. We got it. It made it to the stack.
Yeah, the deck that another deck that won off camera that I'm looking forward to seeing at some point. Makihito Mahara showed up with an unwritten devotion deck. So Green Devotion with Constellation. That's kind of seems to be the right way to build Green Devotion. But yeah, see the unwritten is some new tech that I haven't really seen that I look forward to getting that on camera.
People are calling that the new tooth and nail.
Yeah. Totally. I mean, if you have most of the creatures turn on the Ferocious, you're getting 2 creatures from it. You know, it can grab something gigantic even when you don't have Ferocious turned on. So, interesting card. He beat Timothy Simino fairly quickly. And then we had a couple of Hordling Outburst decks show up in the feature match area this time. Brad Nelson won with his, although what we saw was the Planeswalkers doing the damage rather than the tokens.
And there were quite a few Planeswalkers.
Yeah, and the tokens, I mean, Elspeth is pretty good at making tokens too. She's a little better than Hordling Outburst, but a little more expensive too. So Brad beat Seth Manfield, and then Sean McLaren with the Jeskai aggro, same colors he won the Pro Tour with, beat Peter Steiner, who was on the 3rd different Jeskai archetype we've seen. So Jeskai tokens went down there, but Jeskai aggro continues to do well. So yeah, that's round 5 for you.
Yep, that was
Standard maybe starting to take a little bit of shape.
Yeah, that was the feature match area for round 5. So let's see what happened elsewhere in round 5. I'm going to send it back to the news desk.
Thanks very much to Rashad and Randy there with round 5. Well, what else has been going on? Tony Portolan of Croatia 5-0. John Finkel has defeated Dennis Chan of Australia to go to 5-0. And Paul Rietzel, Hall of Famer this weekend, 5-0. You heard his interview earlier on with BDM. He said, I don't want to waste a 3-0 start. He hasn't. 5-0 with 3 rounds to go. Remember, 4-4 is what brings you back for day 2 action. 5-3, though, pretty much the minimum requirement to be in contention for top 8 tomorrow. Best guess, 12, 3 and 1, 37 points into the top 8. 12 and 4, well, then it's right on the very, very edge. Sometimes 1 or 2 people get in at 12 and 4, but it's really tough, especially if you've lost early. Well, we've got plenty between now and the next round for you because there's tons of matches still going on out in the hall. First up, we have a deck tech. You've seen it in the feature match area. Super interesting deck. So why don't we throw it across to the video wall? Here comes Zach Hill and Peter Steiner.